You're listening to the Law Enforcement Pirate Radio Network. Radio Free Larry presiding.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Radio Free Larry.
All right, here we go again. Buckle up, rough roads ahead. Now I'm going to try to get to the social workers a little bit here. Maybe those were our social workers and they killed their lives because they didn't like the theories they had to minimize crime and improve people's quality of health, including mental health. Maybe that's the key. So I was standing by my door this morning. I was getting ready to walk outside, and I was hearing from the criminal investigators. And, you know, I'm trying to send a thought to them as what I'm doing and what I'm going to do next. As far as, you know, I have to live a life of undercover work. I'm not luring anybody in. They're already corrupt. I'm not playing that spycraft thing that forces people into crime or diminishes their life in any way to interfere with their ability to discern what to do in a lawful and legal way, let be any other way. But when I'm shutting the door, you know, about the conclusion of our conversation, female agent said, "Well, that's how we do our undercover work," saying that it's very similar to what he's doing. And but as I said it, I shut the door and I went like locked out. So again, if they investigate and they don't want them to investigate, then they're locked out of the community, and then they try to kill them at a certain point. So it's not real, obviously, but that's kind of like a psychic inference. But it doesn't mean that any person that's having that happen to them is a real investigator, because the deep state people get locked out every so often because it's not one community, it's, you know, several cells, and they sell each other out and all that stuff. So again, that's one of the problems we're going to have with the social workers, that they'll harass them into being corrupt. So they lock it. So these, you know, the Republican guys, the inference is they're deep state, you know, Republican deep state. The what's that guy's name? Jim Jordan's peeps. They were on the inside doing Republican work, whether it was outside, inside, I couldn't tell you, but they were doing some Republican conservative stuff as being part of that. And then when they got called on the carpet, you know, you levied a counter allegation, and it doesn't mean they're innocent. And most people that are deep state, they actually get something, like they were paid. Well, theoretically, if they were real, the criminal spycraft operators that are part of that whole investigation would not have let them be paid, even if they were helping the Republican Party. So the fact that Trump World paid them means that they're probably part of that whole BS system, and they'll get they get money. They already got money. Well, there's plenty of agents whose lives were destroyed in the same manner, and nobody paid them, including my own. You can't claim my retirement at all. I mean, it was a struggle to get that. It's obvious that I'm owed millions and millions of dollars, if not $1 billion. So again, that's that. So we have the social workers, and we'll try to get deeper into that in a real way. I've already described it online, but what we need is they need to have independence from the police officers. As far as only a squad that works directly with the police officers, you could do that, where you have certain ones that are signed and certain ones that'll patrol on their own. It's much better if social workers are patrolling and talking to people than it is police officers when there's no crime. I mean, community service or community relations work to a certain degree, and that's what happens. But corruption is corruption. Again, when those cameras came out, I even told people that they were going to have to wear cameras like 2 years before they came out. Like, started using them heavy. I didn't know anything about it. I just God put it in. I called it the badge cam. I was sitting in a gym while they were operating me, and I like I was on my phone, and I called it a badge cam. So again, when they came out, I even said, now you have the camera. Now change what you're doing. Make sure it's lawful. Now they'll say, well, they were used corruptly against us. Well, corruption begets corruption. Again, a lot. It's a lot for the kids to sit through all that. I'm not into that, and that shouldn't happen and all that. I'm not approving of that. And not a general drag performer like Shakespearean, like they're speaking about, that's something a little different. That is acceptable. But even the sisters of what do they call them? Sisters of, I don't even remember. Whatever it is, that drag troupe, they are offensive towards some Catholics. Some Catholics just let it roll off their back like water off a duck's back. But it's. I told you it was going to be karma if you didn't stop. Sin reaction. If you're not doing what the Bible tells you in reference to those people, then you're going to have issue with it, all of you. It's going to get bigger. It's going to get crazier. In fact, you're all willing it up because you want to rail against it. So homeless people are being willed homeless directly and indirectly. As they see, indirectly means it's our rule, and they had criminal intentions in mind, and that's why they're homeless. No, not at all. Based upon what your actions are, it's obvious. There is no standard other than, hey, let's go do this person. Hey, I'm going to get money to do that person. And that's your rule, and therefore that's the rule, even on the other side. That's our law enforcement system also. And of course, you're going to have some real cases. That's obvious. I brought that up before. There's no way to do it without having some real cases. And I imagine somewhere in the world, in some small town, they've probably achieved the point of having 0 real cases. So, again, the homeless people need to be elevated. They need to be brought up, but you have to do that with your actions and your thoughts, including the people that are in that system. Again, I explained to my mother at a certain point, I said to my mother, I just would always say to my mother when she freaked out, I'd say, I know that's not you. I know you're being pushed to that. That's in the other one. So I heard, please drive forward. I'm like, well, I'm in the middle of a car wash. It's the one, it's the bay next to me. So, so I said, that's a cue actually from the system. While I'm saying this, I'm supposed to drive forward in life. I'm supposed to get somewhere. And they go, well, he got somewhere. He got his retirement. I mean, they're just full of shit. They know how to destroy someone's life, and they do it. And they get paid a lot of money to do it. That's criminal. That's extortion. That's racketeering. That's organized crime. Oh, I got to pull forward here. So what we have in homeless people is the people that those people have destroyed in life. Now, some of these people were in training as children. They learned how to be devils, demons, antichrists, witches, and sorcerers. Even if they're in a church, they'll say, well, I'm doing this for Jesus or something like that. And you'll hear, well, it's like you're saying that you would sin for Jesus or God. I mean, it's obviously something different. It's obvious that you all are doing something different than what I'm doing. So don't try to make it the same thing. Again, I explained how things work metaphysically when two things could and they don't appear the same. It's just an illusion that they create, but it could appear the same, but they may not be maybe different based upon metaphysics. Let be even what the effectuation is. Boy, I woke up yesterday with a serious case of vertigo. I've never had it like that. I was like, whoa. But I felt warm, so I didn't have a thermometer available. I had one in storage. There was no way to drive to storage. And then God ruled you all. Said, see, you're supposed to be in an apartment with your stuff by now. That's why all this crazy stuff's happening, and it doesn't go smooth. And they all know that. They know, and they minimize somebody's money. Somebody's put somebody in an apartment instead of allowing them to move into a house. That all these things go on. And in actuality, they're saying, and they bring up the cameras. Well, we have you under camera. You put cameras wherever you want. You had cameras in hallways that weren't supposed to be there, listening to my conversations. I knew you were doing that. Instead of doing the right thing, you did the wrong thing. When you deny the truth, you deny Christ, don't you? So don't try to play your church games. Well, I deny the truth for Christ, like you. So that's what happened to those people. And, they just didn't have the wherewithal to stay up. Of course, if I hadn't served my country my whole lot, my career with the Army and the Marsh Service and the Federal Bureau of Prisons, I probably, they probably could have took me down that low. But the fact is, if I had never been in the government, I probably have been okay. 100%. Because it launches off of people that it increases itself off of people that want to kill the guy that does the work or the gal that does the work, and the real investigator, the real correctional officer, not out there playing their game out. Again, all those people are playing their game out, and they look good. Why? Because Satan elevates them. Again, the scriptures speak about that. The ministers of righteousness, they appear as ministers of righteousness. Satan appears as an angel of light. I was in San Antonio, and I went to a Catholic church. There's actually, I guess, the Church of San Antonio or something like, or San Antonio, right? And I went there, and it was starting, and all of a sudden, a vision of Jesus appears, and he's at the front right of the room, I guess. It was kind of a weird church because it was the room was wider than it was longer. That person looked like she was driving into me. She might be one of these deep state people. Now she looked like she intentionally aimed her vehicle at me, laughing. So she might be trying to get me to change something and then say that I'm somehow wrong. They'll do things like cause you to drive in a different direction and say that you're doing something else. I mean, this is pre-planned, premeditated corruption and organized crime to the utmost. Again, that's who they are. So if the person didn't have that type of life where they had something to fall back on as far as intrinsic credit, then they wouldn't. I should put a spell on my too. Whoa! Take care of that. It's an eyes on. They're evil eyes. In the government, I never thought. I never knew anything when it came up. They go, I got the eye. That type of thing is what they say when they're radio traffic. If you were to be official as far as an investigation. But they're actually evil eyes, many of them, if not all of them. See, it's getting me. And I had trouble stopping at the stop sign at the right spot, and then it wanted me to turn left, which would have make it look like I'm just going to the police department to harass them instead of driving down this road that is more convenient than the other road. And of course, you don't harass the police department by driving by. It's just, I could be healing you if you all would stop. So again, these people don't have what they need to get forward of devils attacking them. So again, before they put in your mind, well, then of course they didn't play the game right, quote unquote. The game is Satan. So again, if you're playing the game, then you're with Satan. I don't care how many times you go to church, Buddhist temple, Gurdwara, Hare Krishna, whatever it is, Silicon Valley Temple of Behemoth Fat. Behemoth Fat. That's Trump. Behemoth Fat. He's probably a devil at that level. Trump's Behemoth Fat. That's his Satan name. Now they're all around me. I can see them. Or it's a spell and people are just driving around with their new license plates. So again, that's part of what's happening. So on the social workers, you're trying to, see, this shows that he doesn't really help people, that he's infatuated with that. Why don't you tell us what it is? I already did, all of you. Thank you. You're infatuated with killing people, all of you. And you'll pay for it with that spell. That's what a spell? That's a spell. It's not God. God's spell. Q clue. Whoa. Oh, come on, fundamentalists. See how evil God's spell is while you work for the deep state police and cause homelessness. So it's all a scam. It's all an illusion. Oh, I seem irritated? No, God's irritated. God and I are one. Whoa. That's what the Bible says, actually, if you really understand what Jesus said and what the Bible says. So again, that's a sign that homeless people are homeless because of these people. And it makes them feel good because they have a house and a car and 3 meals a day, and they go to the Caribbean. Each time they engage in a satanic activity, they're paid back. You have to fix the system so that people doing what I'm doing or something similar or a good deed, even one good deed, is supposed to be paid back. It's the way it really works. Although Jesus did say your crowns are in heaven, because people like that are there erasing your credit day in and day out. They won't let the real system, even their system that pays them, is the same system. But it's not a real system because, again, their investigations aren't real. Nothing's real. They're a ruler, they're a devil. There's a difference. A devil pays back for evil with money, cars, house, swimming pool, Caribbean vacation. So it's not confusing at all. Oh, but we're saving everyone. See, if you can get the sense that it's facetious. It's sarcastic. This is about homeless people. They think that they're shifting my conversation away from what the problem is with homeless people. That's the problem why we have homeless people, period. There's no other reason. We have the healing capability for things such as rockets and vaccines and all of that. Then we have the ability to keep people off the street by simply thinking about it. But they have the ability to put them out there on the street by simply thinking about it with Satan. Because God want it to happen, but it has to be the majority of, I wouldn't say will, but because will requires a projection. The majority of the thought on earth has to be that you want the homeless people. You want the homeless people out there homeless to make you feel good about where you all are in life. Unreversal. Whoa! Yeah, they're squirrels, man. They're real psychotic squirrels. It's the way they've been their whole life. In my office, you didn't want to be like a strong dude that exercises. They attack you. But again, if you're a person that attacks a person, you have protection against that. So again, it's kind of the opposite of the real system that should exist from God. It's Satan's system. Satan will protect you from other people taking you out if you'll take people out. So they're killing the healers, and Jesus in Luke 10 told you what would happen if you do that. That's a pretty house. Somebody, it's an older house, but somebody, well, maybe it is a newer one. I don't know. He decorated. I think he finished it. Oh, I can't make it right here. All right, be careful of their messages. Like this is 76th Terrace. The sign is that they're going to, now my life is going to come on and everything's going to be well. 1776. Now you have to be careful of the other one. Slater, because you said Slater wasn't guilty. No, it's not because of that either. It goes back to the inside and what's actually happening. That they're, guess where I'm at now? Antioch. Anti-seer. Thank you, friend. Oh, when I was in the government, I mean, they were killing me. I was drugged for sure, and I'm coming back with somebody else. I'm in a vehicle going back to the office, and I look up, and there's Mercy. Now I'm still asleep, but it says Mercy Hospital. But it's like, Mercy, this is when you get back to your life. It's going to be great. It's going to be grand. So, I mean, I don't know how much I put into it, but I felt wonderful. I'm like, oh, this is great. It's all over. Everything's going to be well. It was a line from them. So, again, it appeared, the mercy sign appeared as an angel of light. And it wasn't. Which would tell me they're probably deep stating in there, which is, of course, doctors, plenty of doctors are deep state. And when I say deep state, the Republicans are not fighting the deep state. They are not fighting deep state. It's just their scam. It's in everything. Again, circular thinking or oval thought. What's going on over here? This is interesting. It's estate sale, I see. All right. Oh, wow, they're all in there. Estate sale. He'll name Jesus how to heal. What is the soccer team or track team, whatever it is, gym class? I don't know. See, she caused me to miss that the first time around, or maybe the class wasn't there and I was out of time. But then she could cause that too. Oh, there's somebody in this police department that's a she. It's part of it. I was talking about the woman in the vehicle, and then I pointed to the police station when I said she. But I didn't mean to point at the police station. Get it? Hi, I'm on Popo camera. Get rid of the witch. So, no, I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. You'll probably notice the shift. If you know what's going on, right? So again, they'll try to make an excuse as to why they're doing it. Don't listen to them. There's no excuse to do what they're doing, because if they were doing that and if it was real, not saying it's real or admitting to a crime or anything like that, but if any of it was real, they would actually be attacking someone else. In most cases, attack themselves. She's a cute woman. A little young for me, but wish I could have had a normal life. Are you walking your dog when the woman's walking her dog because you want to meet her? looking all humble. think one was part Native American. That's a hard reach because again, when you not all, but a lot of Native Americans, they got that. You better not mix with white people. But yeah, how much blood do you have left? That's like the hardest thing with Native American women. It's just they just if they marry a white. I mean, if they're down on their luck, maybe. I think I had one that was kind of interested, but it just I think at that situation I was already kind of moving along and I was planning to leave and. It's just, and her son was just. I mean, I helped him. It's a good guy, and I think that's what she liked. But I helped him and his family the best I could. And it's hard, man. When you get around Native Americans, there's a lot of evil spirits attacking them, especially the ones that are failing. So you can see what they're up against, and you spend all day healing stuff. And so there's a big curses around them. Anything from pedophilia to stealing money, doing drugs, drinking alcohol, shoplifting. But the curse hits the person that helps them. So again, those people that hate on them, that's the kind of thing they want. So it's there. It's naturally there. Get out of my head, all of you. Trying to alter the way I'm speaking, but their presence is all around me right now. It's kind of minimizing. So what's happening is if you didn't have the awareness I had, you would, or even, it's just not even awareness, the level of power I have to repel it and understand what it is, you might actually become that. A thief, a pedophile, a rapist, a drug user, a shoplifter. Like you walk into Walmart and they put them into you and the security dude's crooked. What is she? Oh, she's trying to get the cat. Oh, shoot. Let me help this woman. She's trying to get a cat. I can go around the other side and probably push it towards her. Oh, but she has pink hair, Mars. She's probably gay. Did she get it? I'm going to go around the other side. I'm going to go around the other side. All right, stay peaceful. Praise God. And the other. Going the other way. You have to get out of my head so I can finish this. Praise God in all that you do. Stay peaceful. Praise God.